You are listening to Fantha Tracks.
Because of the following special program, Wonder Woman and the Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
It's time to get all your Star Wars news in a single file.
That doesn't sound too hard.
This is Making Tracks.
This is the way.
Here are your hosts, Mark Newbold and Mark Mulcaster.
I know these people. They are brutal. Does this look Jedi to you?
That's not how the Force works.
They'll never see it coming.
Count me in.
Lisa back.
You're listening to Making Tracks. I'm your co-host, Mark Newbold, and joining me today is a man who right now, is putting funny faces on the camera. It's not helping, Mark. You'll stick like that if the wind blows in the wrong direction. It's Mark Mulcaster. Mark, how you doing, man?
I'm good. Thank you very much. Slightly having a sugar crash from the amount of chocky eggs I've eaten today.
Explain. You told me a little bit off mic.
So, having a chat in the Rebel Legion Elstree Base PR Facebook group, trying to find like the right tone for a Easter social media post, which focuses more on eating chocolate rather than for religious stuff, because obviously this is a commercial holiday and not clearly a religious holiday.
We're a secular organisation.
Exactly, yeah. So I was like, right, I've got an idea. I'm just going to go and get a load of Easter eggs. So I tottled down to one stop, picked up some Easter eggs, came back and took a photo of like a lightsaber with like all these half-eaten eggs, which I had to obviously, as a method actor and photographer, had to eat half of those eggs. Then I'd take literally 4 photos, send it over, and then basically proceeded to eat the rest of it. So I've polished off more eggs than I'm probably likely to get for this Easter. You know, I've got to keep quiet.
I applaud you on your efforts on behalf of the Rebel Legion and your social media campaign. As always, Mark Mulcaster is taking one for the team.
Yeah, and it's a good job those X-Wing flight suits have elasticated waists.
Well, there is that. More Shadow Lord on StarWars.com via the big grand poobah himself, Dave Filoni, announced that season 2 is happening. Awesome news. Now, you and me and thee, we have seen a couple of episodes of the show so far, and it's really good. No spoilers, nothing other than we are very happy Star Wars fans, and we will talk more about it, obviously, when Reaction Chat returns very, very soon. But what do you think? Season 2, it's a bold move, but I think it's a good move. It's what Andor did. They announced 2 seasons, and maybe if they hadn't announced 2 seasons, we wouldn't have got a second season, because that sucker cost a lot of money.
Yeah. And also, I think, just with Andor, I think it's end of season 1. I think if you didn't know there was going to be season 2, I think there's a lot of people who weren't quite 100% sold on Andor. However, this is good news. This shows companies got confidence in the production, and it also means hopefully that they're already into production on this, and that this will come out relatively close, because there's nothing worse. You know, you watch a fantastic first season, and then you have like 3-4 years or something until the next one, because obviously they haven't developed it, because they're maybe not 100% sure, and they're like, well, let's wait and see what happens with season 1. It's good. And speaking from an industry professional, where I've worked on productions which are multi-seasonal, by the end of the first season, people around are already talking about, season 2 or something, but there's always that thing hanging over. It's like, well, yeah, but we haven't actually got the green light yet. You have to get to that point, be it through audience feedback and marketing screeners and stuff, or I guess just down to confidence. I don't actually know what Lucasfilm does, if they actually farm this out for feedback to people, or if they're pretty confident in they know what they've got and will take a chance on it.
I honestly don't know. All I can think about this announcement, one, as I say, we've seen a few episodes, so we know that it's quality TV, but it shows confidence from Lucasfilm in the project itself. It also shows, to me anyway, that now Dave Filoni's in charge. He's an animation guy.
Yeah.
There's going to be live action coming. I mean, Mando and Grogu, he's obviously involved with, because it's Mandalorian, but it's not his film in the sense that it's Favreau's film, and Kathleen Kennedy was in charge when that was made. And actually the same for Starfighter. He's going to have a hand in it, but he's not steering the ship on either of those productions. So we don't know what live action stuff will be Filoni's first thing, because obviously already season 2 Ahsoka's made. We don't know when that's coming out. Rumours that it's going to be the back end of this year, but we don't know for sure. So it struck me as being quite similar to when Kathleen Kennedy took over in 2012, and the first thing we got was Rebels.
Yeah.
Now we've got Filoni, and Filoni in terms of animation is top tier. So there's no question. There's no worries. We've never been steered wrong by Filoni when it comes to animation. So it seemed like a logical, smart thing to do. Also, storyline-wise, You can see they're setting things up in that first season. Clearly they are, because hey, there's a second season coming. And it does feel, because it's far enough back in the timeline, that if they wanted to run this thing for multiple seasons...
Oh, they totally could.
Easy.
Yeah. What I was saying to you just before, and without giving anything away as a preview to reaction chats, obviously there's a different kind of style of pacing in this, although actually it's very fast cut. The action scenes are very frenetic and kinetic.
Bit of
both. Yeah, totally. But the story and that, and you know, the way the characters are coming out and that, it feels like it's kind of slightly more adult leaning than say like even Bad Batch, really. I guess let's see what happens when it does drop and everybody gets a chance to watch it. And also, let's see what happens with Mr. Filoni and when he does finally announce some new live-action Star Wars.
We met Sam Witwer years and years ago. He was Starkiller in The Force Unleashed. Then we meet him again as Darth Maul when he returns in the Clone Wars. He's been Maul ever since. He's the voice of Maul in Solo. Quality guy and a fantastic person to have around in the Star Wars galaxy. We being Fantha Tracks, were invited to a round table with Sam and with Gideon Adlon, who plays Devon Izara in season 1, and presumably, we don't know, presumably season 2 of Maul Shadow Lord. We'll find out soon enough. And also with the producers, Athena Patillo, Brad Rao, and Matt Michnovets. And we had great conversations. You can hear it all on Making Tracks on Fantha Tracks Radio. Couple of things. One, Whitmer can talk the ears off a donkey. He knows his Star Wars inside out. He's very deferential to Dave Filoni. I think he's being not falsely modest. I think it's a smart thing to do, but he knows his Star Wars, and it's a joy to listen to him talk about it. Gideon, now I've got to give props to a friend of ours from Jedi News, James Burns, because we were in the roundtable format where you start off with a site, ask their question, you go around in the same order, and everybody gets a question. If you're lucky, you get a couple of questions in, depends on where you are in the order and how much time is left. Questions go around, and one of James's questions was to Gideon, and the question was basically, you've been in Star Wars before, Gideon. You're returning to the Star Wars galaxy. You played a role in Young Jedi Adventures. What's it like being back in Star Wars? And it was very, very funny, I thought, because one, I didn't know that. I hadn't Googled that. I wasn't aware of that. Clearly, nobody else was aware of that. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, certainly, Sam Witwer was definitely not aware of that because he sounded as shocked as anything. And the funniest thing to me was that Gideon didn't even remember playing a role in Young Jedi Adventures. So quite clearly, I think that the tone is that this is her arrival in the Star Wars galaxy. And on the grand stage, it is. This show is hopefully, and if it does, deservedly going to be a big hit. But it tickled me pink that she didn't remember being in Star Wars before. How could you not remember being in Star Wars?
Oh, do you know what? Yeah, you do wonder. I mean,
it's like Gwyneth Paltrow didn't remember being in Avengers Endgame. But then Gwyneth Paltrow makes candles out of her vagina. So how's that a reliable witness? You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. I mean, go back and think about the guys who were in The New Hope in 1976 and that. And obviously different because nobody had any faith, really, in what that film was going to be. And so, like, he just says a couple of days and what have you.
Yeah.
And yes, she was in one episode of Jedi Adventures. I mean, I haven't seen the episode, so I can't really comment as to, like, what the character's like or what she said, but it might have just been a day's voice acting. Here you go, here's the lines. This is a kid's Star Wars show. They might not even said it was a Star Wars show. Okay, I know you're looking at. Well,
this is not good for podcasting this face, but I mean, come on.
Well, would they? But I mean, yeah.
You're trying really hard to sit on the fence here, and you are getting splinters.
No, I'm trying to kind of put it into slight perspective. Actually, I suppose in the grand scheme of things, yeah. On one hand, it's very easy for us to go, "Oh, my God, it's Star Wars." You see it when you go to Pinewood and talk to people. To other people, it's yes, if they worked on Star Wars, and they normally do remember that they've worked on a Star Wars, but it's kind of a job because it doesn't mean anything to them as such. Now, if Gideon hasn't got any brothers and maybe her dad's not really into films and stuff and she's never really seen Star Wars, it will just be some nerdy kids cartoon, right? For the defence. That's all. I'm just, trying to give it a bit of balance.
I get it, and I love the fact that you're trying to find the balance in the Force, and it was hilarious in the moment. Please go and listen to the episode on Fantha Tracks Radio. Props to James, because he absolutely hit them.
Is it an awkward silence?
I'll have to bleep this. It was one of those, moments, because... It really was, because it was like, we were really hoping nobody would find that out. But it's on IMDb.
It's not hard.
I thought it was my favourite moment of the whole day.
Hi, this is Andy Seacombe, otherwise known as Watto, and you're listening to Fantha Tracks.
She's a few months past leaving her role as president of Lucasfilm. She's moving into the next phase of her career. She's still got Mando and Grogu and Starfighter to come out and Ahsoka on television. Lots of things that are still connected to Kathleen Kennedy. But last week she took to the stage at an AI summit to discuss the future usages of the technology. And considering you could consider this a hostile audience if you're not exactly extolling the virtues of AI, she was quite forthright in saying that she believes that AI has a place, but it's not necessarily the thing that's going to take art forward on its own. You need the human input. She said, taste is so fundamental to the process of creating things. It's life experience. It's educational. The best directors of films and photography came out of art. They studied it. So she's making very clear that while AI could be very useful in things like previous planning, budgeting, scheduling, AI in and of itself isn't going to change anything. You need that human touch. We've talked about AI on here a lot. We spitball things. We've got no skin in the game, particularly. You've certainly got more than me because of the industry that you work in. But to hear that from Kathleen Kennedy, somebody who was there at the edge of the innovation for CG in Jurassic Park and all the other things that she's been witness to and been a part of, certainly throughout the Star Wars era as well. And now AI feels like the next big leap. And she's very much putting guardrails around it, saying it's great if it's used properly, but it's not going to change the world on its own. What do you think to her thought process?
I completely agree. 100%. From what I've seen and see how it's been employed, is that AI is really good at taking a number of things and cobbling it all together and creating almost like facsimiles, add-in stuff. Where we found on some of our tests that it doesn't understand physics so well,
yes.
It just doesn't. Yeah. And so therefore some things just look a little bit weird for various reasons. I think we haven't had the watershed moment yet. And one reason why we haven't is because AI isn't reliable to do generative tweaks. The thing that happens in creative process is that once you've roughed out whatever it is, let's say your environment, let's say you're drawing up Coruscant for the first time, your director will be like, oh yeah, that's great, but can we just change it, building there? Or can we just tweak that and can we add a little bit more smoke? AI just doesn't get that. At the moment, it's really hard to kind of say, right, keep everything the same, but then just add some smoke. But don't change anything. It just can't do it. And so for the creators that I work with, get incredibly frustrated. And that's where they still have to come to me because they're like, we can get this so far, but actually we can't get it to where we want it to be because we can't add atmospheric stuff. Can you combat in? I'm like, yeah, sure. That's just one example. But I think the watershed moment will be when somebody has a balls enough to kind of actually go, right, we're going to do a full film, all AI actors, and whether or not they tell somebody or not is the thing. Because I think if you tell somebody, then you're gonna have backlash by some people going like, oh, that's the end of the industry, I'm not going to go and see that, and boycott it because of that principle. And other people who will go because out of curiosity. The acid test is to just put the thing out there and not tell anybody until afterwards, until either it crashes or it does really well. And then you go, well, actually, this was AI. And I think very quickly when you're watching AI, a lot of people start to realize it. I mean, they use it a lot in commercials now because it's kind of quick and relatively easy. And I saw, funny enough, a Copilot ad for Microsoft the other day, which is all AI. But you could clearly tell it's AI. You could tell where the faces and that were. Ironically, that's Microsoft's AI application. So, I'm sure somebody thought it was quite cute to do it that way. And actually, a lot of stuff looked really good in it, but not everything. So I'm kind of with Kathleen on that. I think it's probably about right. It's a lot of the high-end professional tools, when they come out with all these AI auditions, they are tools that are there to help the creative, help the artist achieve stuff in a more time-efficient way, rather than actually take the stuff away. For my job, I don't have to draw shapes around people's faces and track those manually. It can kind of do that to a semi-automated way, which saves me just button clicks. And ultimately, if it's button clicks means you can get further down the pipe in a day, it saves your time in the long run to do a VFX plate, that saves the production money, and so you kind of all win on that. Okay. So it swings and roundabouts.
Swings and roundabouts. I mean, one thing she says at the end of the piece is she says, I think what's missing in the discussion right now is transparency. I think people, and she means in Hollywood, feel that there's a lot they don't know about what's going on, that there's conversations around how these language models are being trained, for instance. I think if we can reach a point where there's more transparency in those discussions, and frankly, more transparency consequently in people using these tools, then I think that will help greatly to dissipate the distrust. So a lot of people aren't understanding it, and not meaning that as a detrimental thing. It's a new technology, but it is a brave new world, but it's got to be monitored correctly, hasn't it? Especially in entertainment.
Yeah, definitely. And especially, when you start creating, or it's like, where's it learnt that, what's it using for its inspiration, and it comes into creative crediting. But also, if somebody listens to this episode in 6 months' time or even a year, this could be so out of date, because the problem at the moment, in no other time period in our lives has technology in one area been so quick to move on and to develop. But what I say now could be completely out of date. I mean, one of the big fundamental things for us at the moment is that the actual physical resolution, like the actual size of the images that you can render out and at a high enough quality, isn't there by most services. So therefore, as much as sometimes we go, oh, that'd be cool to do that in AI, it's not even a factor, because you can't render it out at a high enough resolution, which means you will have to go back and rethink how we do it. Watch your space, I guess.
Hello, this is Mark Thompson. I narrate a bunch of the Star Wars audiobooks, and you're listening to Fantha Tracks.
Do or do not. There is no try.
So last week, I and Richard Mitchell were invited down to Disney HQ in Hammersmith to see the new May the 4th range. Some of those images have gone onto Fantha Tracks already. Some of it's embargoed. They'll be coming along a little bit later. But also there was Luke from Star Wars Sessions. Star Wars Sessions are behind Galaxypalooza, which takes place in Essex. Where else? On the 6th of June. And after the show, me and Luke found a very quiet corner at Hammersmith Underground Station. It looked really shady, but we had a wonderful conversation. This is what we talked about. This is me and Luke talking all about Galaxypalooza here on Making Tracks.
Right, where are we right now? We're at a train station somewhere.
We're below, or above rather, Hammersmith Underground Station, the little shopping complex here. Yeah. It's a bit weird, isn't it? It's like the TARDIS.
It's like
you come in,
and we're near the toilets, but
we're
not here to talk about people's toilet habits. We're here to talk about Galaxypalooza.
That's right, Galaxypalooza, a Star Wars fan event / convention, whatever you want to call it.
I love it.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
How is it going?
It's going really well. Obviously, it's our first time doing something like this. So this is Luke. So, you're going to introduce me in post, or
no? I'm just going to assume everybody knows who you are.
Okay, well,
I don't do post.
Luke, you just smash it on, smash it. Yeah, no, fair enough. So, we do a Star Wars podcast. We've done events before, like after parties at Celebration. Yeah. We've done viewings of Empire Strikes Back in London before, meetups. We've never done a day event like this. And so we're learning every day, it seems.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder to organise an event like this than we probably thought.
Yeah.
And that's not even us underestimating it. It's just, you're relying on a lot of communication.
Yeah.
But ultimately our message is this is a love letter to a galaxy far, far away, to Star Wars, and we want it to feel like that on the day.
So when you and Matt sat down and thought, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
What instigated that? What made you think you could do it? Because you've got a great following. Sessions has got a great following, but this is outside of your bubble, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You can control a podcast. You can direct an interview. You can, you've got certain things within. Yeah, exactly. He said, you've got certain things within your control, but this is a big. It could potentially a big thing to sort of wrangle. So, what made you think? We're going to give this a go.
If I'm being completely honest, we were getting pushes from various people and groups to do something like this for a while.
Yeah.
And we were always hesitant because we thought, a bit like what you said, we've not done it before. We've done evening things. And that's about it. A lot of our listeners always want to do meetups, which is nice. Again, it's probably a reflection of our wee community, that we've got some really nice folk that listen to us and we all get along, like real friendships and relationships have been made out of it, which is incredible. But I think, if I'm being completely transparent, we went to Andmore last year, Dave Tree's event down in the New Forest. We loved it. That did feel like a love letter.
Yeah.
Because although there's a lot of Star Wars shows that are even today popping up in the UK, across the UK, it doesn't always feel like a love letter.
Gotcha.
It feels maybe at times a bit like a check the box exercise. Yeah. And actually, there's nothing wrong with that because that's how conventions happen. They're business.
Exactly. At the end of the day, they've got to make it work.
100%. Yeah. And there's no begrudging that. But we wanted to do something that felt like our baby, that wasn't too far from us. Because the other thing, Mark, is Dave's event was amazing. It's on the smaller side, right? Because and it's still incredible, absolutely incredible. One of the best events I went to last year. But It's well far for us. Echo Base, incredible show. Really far for us, mate.
Yeah.
We're proudly based in Essex.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of stuff like this going on in our county.
I was going to ask that.
Which
Geographically,
is crazy.
is there not a lot doing?
No, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because Essex has a larger economy than Northern Ireland, mate. It's a big county. There's a lot of people that live there. I think the thing is that we're absorbed into London with a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of the home counties.
Yeah.
But there are so many talented people that live 15 minutes away from where I live.
Yeah.
I live in Lee, in South Essex. Jamie Richards, artist. Gianni Venturini and Greg Armstrong, they are authors of, The Kenner Toy Guide.
Yeah.
Ross Sandridge, Mike Edmonds. All these guys live minutes from my front door.
Yeah.
Why aren't we
doing something about it? Yeah.
Why are we travelling to the New Forest, or why are we travelling to Birmingham? And it just feels like there's room for it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It makes
Maybe
all
I'm
the
not
sense.
doing a good enough job.
No, you are, because there's geographically in the UK, and this is something that I think folks who listen to us from the States don't always get. They've got the geography, they've got the space, they've got potentially hundreds of miles between cities. We can go 20 miles down the road and the accent's completely different. So it's a different thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
you
true.
could totally do a show north of Birmingham and do another show 20 minutes south of Birmingham
100%.
and not be stepping on each other's toes particularly.
Yeah, 100%.
So to your point, I think of course there's room for it. And people, again, coming back to Sessions, because it's got such a nice following, because it engenders such a good atmosphere and a vibe, people are going to feel encouraged, motivated to want to go and attend that first show, support that first show.
Yeah.
So it's a great thing to do. Now you're in the game. You're still a few months away from opening the doors, first person walking through, and all that stuff. You've got planning. You've got more guests to announce, more things to announce, more things to do. Where you are right now, are you looking at it already thinking, I wish I'd known this when we started this venture 6 months ago, or whatever it was?
Just silly things like setting up the website and the administration that goes into booking some people.
Yes.
And there are multiple little boring details. Project management, software that helps us with that. We are approaching this as professionally as we can. And I think I mentioned to you earlier, we've got in our inner circle of friends, guys that we just hang out with anyway, not even just at shows. We might see each other wherever. We've got some really talented folk on our team. My brother, he has a really cool job. He's head of tech at a media company here in London. Gianni's in the team. He's this guy's making the Kenner Toy Guide, and he's our graphic designer. Dave Dunn, he's a vendor, experienced collector. He's helping us with that side of things. Matt is a project manager, qualified project manager. So we're all putting our brains together to create something that we love.
Your real world brains.
Yes. Yeah. And as much as, I want to praise him again, Dave did an incredible job down in Hampshire. We want this to be accessible for kids like us who grew up in our area and want to access Star Wars, want to access a galaxy far, far away, right? Because although there are a lot of cons in London or now popping up wherever,
all over,
they're not always easy to get to. No. Families don't always know about it or can commit to it, right? So it's also a thing for our local people. Yeah.
That's great. That's to be a local event. Going back to Dave, Fordingbridge, everything he does at that town hall is all about the town.
100%.
As much as it is about the community, our Star Wars community,
Terrific.
and people will gravitate towards it and go to it. So
that's how it should be.
Sell me on this one now. Why? Let's say I know nothing about you. I know nothing about Sessions. I'm a listener to Making Tracks, and this guy has come on and he's telling me about this show. And there's 100 shows in the UK, and I've only got so much money. So why would I want to come to your show?
We're very affordable for starters. We're very reasonable.
Yes.
£8 is a standard ticket. £6 is a Super Saver. 16 is a VIP early entry.
Nice.
And you get a pin with that. So I think for starters,
had me at pin.
Come on. It's a no-brainer, isn't it? I think. We wanted to make it as fair and not as exploitative as possible. But also, once again, I hope that on the day it feels like this has been lovingly crafted.
Yeah.
We hope that you look at the panel listings and go, oh, that's quite interesting. Oh, that's a bit different. And even if you're a seasoned person who goes to events, you might think, I don't think I've heard anything like that before.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what we want. That's what we want people to come in and go, better than I expected.
So you got people to have an experience that they might not have had at another show.
Yeah, hopefully, because even the vendors. I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
We've not had an application process for vendors. Okay.
Right.
And we've had people, really clever people, approach us and say, "Can I have a table? What's the quote for the table?" And we've said, "Sorry, applications are closed."
Yeah.
Because we are approaching everyone we want there. We're having a bespoke approach where there is a balance between this amount of artists, this amount of people that sell toys.
Yes.
What, do you sell Funko Pops? Okay, well, we got one or two of those.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not just going to be one thing.
Yeah.
It's not just going to be Power of the Force figures, right?
Yeah.
My favourite line, the best line in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I don't just want that. Okay, so we're trying to have once again this this hand-picked attitude to everything we do. Okay, so and I think that will come across on the day.
I can feel your enthusiasm as you're talking, which is great because I know you've got a lot of talks coming up. You're going to be talking about this to a lot of folks over the coming weeks and months.
This is the first.
I'm chuffed that you're with the first. I really am. Now that it's getting closer, now that your guest list is probably, 70-80% there,
right.
and your vendors are set and the location's set and the marketing's really going great guns, and you probably feel that you've gone over the top of the hill and you're sort of heading towards the finishing line to a degree.
Yeah.
Where are you and Matt head-wise now? Because you've still got to do sessions and you've still got life.
Yeah.
We've all got jobs.
Family.
We've just done a Disney thing at HQ, which is wonderful. But, it's another thing that you've got to factor in. But this event on the 6th of June is a big deal. So where are you head-wise?
Excited. Very excited. A bit scared.
Yeah.
Because it's outside our comfort zone.
Yeah.
But that's what Luke Skywalker did, right? That
That's
call to
right.
adventure, right? That binary sunset, watching that. And
he wanted to go off and join the Imperial Academy and become a TIE fighter pilot.
And he was dragged out of that story and thrown on the adventure of a lifetime, right? And, okay, this isn't, quite that, but it's different. It's outside of a comfort zone.
Of course it is.
And it's something that we have spoken about for years. It's doing something maybe like this.
Yeah.
4 years.
Yeah.
But we couldn't ever find the venue. We couldn't find the dates. We couldn't find the right people. Maybe we didn't know the right people.
Yes.
So I think that's the dream at the moment. I think from a practical perspective, really, it's the finer details. Things like lanyards. We're sorting out lanyards. But there'll be lanyards, by the way.
Yeah.
What small con do you go to and you've got lanyards? No. But we want it to feel like you're at the Excel Centre. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want it to feel bigger than what it is.
Yeah.
Okay? So, I think...
That's smart.
And for collectors, I think they'll be happy.
Oh, bit of swag, bit of merch.
Yeah,
we
right.
love that
Who doesn't love that?
Exactly.
And if it can feel like a slice of Star Wars Celebration, a very small slice, then all the better.
Yeah.
We're planning on having an after party. I don't think that's been announced yet. Maybe we've hinted at it, but...
Well, it's an exclusive on Fantha Tracks, guys.
You know now. There's going to be an after party at a pub just over the road.
Brilliant.
We're doing a movie meet-up the day after because The Mandalorian and Grogu will still be in theatres.
Yes.
So we're going to do like a big meet-up in Basildon, one of the cinemas in Basildon, on the Sunday because a lot of people are already staying over for it. We've got people coming down from the Midlands, from the North, from Wales, someone flying in from France.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great, I think. I hope.
I think.
And it's up to you guys, really, to make it great, right? Because it's community.
Of course it is. You've sold me on it. Not that I didn't need selling on it. I was all in anyway.
You've been a great help, mate.
Fantha's going to be there. I'm definitely going to be there.
Yeah.
I'm so looking forward to it. Thanks for giving us a few minutes in a quiet corner of a London tubeway station. By the emergency exit, by the way.
I know. Poor Richard's sitting down. He's had enough. Dave's having a sit down. He's had enough as well.
Don't blame him.
But look, come along. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be bespoke.
Yes.
Everything's hand-picked. It's not a business arrangement. We're not doing this for money or profit. There won't be profit.
Yeah.
Right? I'm telling you that right now. But we're doing it for the love and the fun and the vibes and the community. And that's what we've always had with our podcast. We've got a cracking community. And if we can materialize that in this event, then I think you'll have a great time. And what more? If you like Star Wars, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? So
it sounds like a great day out. All I ask for is a sausage roll waiting for me when I get to the...
There's a Greg's nearby.
Perfect.
But there will be food on site. I know the venue will want me to say that, but there is a Greg's nearby, just in case. No, thank you, Mark. We're always grateful. We love Fantha. We love you. As you know.
Very nice.
Big time.
Thank you.
This is the way.
So, 6th of June, Galaxypalooza. It's a Saturday. Why wouldn't you want to be there if you're a Star Wars fan? I'm going to be there. Mark, are you going to be there?
I am.
That's all I need to know. I'm very much looking forward to it. I think I'm doing a panel. I don't know who the panel's with. I don't know what the panel's about, but I'm very pleased to have been asked. But those guys, Luke and Matt, they're great fun, great energy. If you don't listen to Star Wars Sessions, give it a listen. And if you give it a listen, you'll probably listen to most episodes anyway, because it's a lot of fun. Great insight and great banter. And good fun. So check those guys out. All the best to them. And very much looking forward to the show when it arrives on the 6th of June. And if you and me are there, Mark, we'll have to do like an Echo style walk around episode.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do that.
If you go onto galaxypalooza.co.uk, there's a load of signers and guests coming. So it should be a fantastic day.
For everything in one location, daily news, reviews, interviews, podcasts, video and social media feeds, bookmark FanthaTracks.com for Star Wars news 24/7, 365.
16th of August at the Honda Centre in Anaheim, we'll see Disney's D23 take place, and on that evening will be the induction of Disney legends. Now, there's no big Harrison Ford level Star Wars people being inducted, but Bob Iger is being inducted as a Disney legend, which seems crazy to me that he hasn't already. Lin-Manuel Miranda, who's the guy behind Hamilton and Moana, Encanto, all that great music. Jabberflow. Exactly. Yeah. Jabberflow. He's the Jabberflow guy. He's in being inducted, but the one that we will probably all be the happiest about, Alan Tudyk, K2SO, he's been inducted as a Disney legend. He's done all sorts of stuff as well, but we're mostly bothered about that big, tall, lanky droid. Good bunch of people being inducted there, isn't it? Especially Bob Iger. I can't believe Bob Iger's not been inducted.
Well, it's probably a clause in his many contracts that actually he can only be inducted when he does finally actually retire for a certain period of time and doesn't get dragged back into the Disney boardroom. So, but hey, The Rock's going and he's getting inducted. So is he getting inducted first into the Disney Hall of Fame before the WWE?
I think he's already been inducted. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's already in the WWE Hall of Fame. But don't forget, Dwayne Johnson hasn't done anything Star Wars, even though he is known to be a Star Wars fan. But he has been in an episode of Star Trek Voyager. So they're inducting a Trekkie, which is, I think, a little bit off.
Not good form, really, is it?
Not really. But we will allow it on this instance. Lin-Manuel Miranda, his music is wonderful. Me and Ruth here listen to a lot of Disney stuff, especially in the evenings, as we sort of dozing off in bed on the old Alexa. I've probably woke the Alexa up there. No, it's turned off, thank goodness. And so that's a help. So we listen to a lot of that. So his music is phenomenal. Encanto is an amazing soundtrack. And Mary Poppins Returns, which, of course, you could argue that Mary Poppins Returns is the reason why Solo didn't make the money that it should have done, because Bob Iger, Disney legend to be, decided he didn't want the two going up against each other, when in fact, of course, we know now they would have been the perfect counter-programming. Mary Poppins Returns has a stonking soundtrack. It's a brilliant soundtrack. So congrats to him. And Jabberflow, as you quite rightly pointed out, is a brilliant piece of music as well.
Oh, Jabba.
I forget you're a musician.
Hi, this is Maria Sandoval, head hairstylist for the Star Wars universe, and you're listening to Fantha Tracks.
So nothing has been said, nothing's been announced, nothing's been arranged as far as we know, but the popular wisdom amongst the gaming crowd is that Disney might just be eyeing up a purchase or a deal to buy Epic Games, which is the home of Fortnite. Epic Games aren't having the best time of it right now. Disney characters, Marvel characters, Star Wars characters, all sorts of characters have entered the realm of Fortnite. Obviously, Star Wars, very recently, we've seen a lot of Star Wars stuff going in there. With Josh D'Amaro coming in now, and the perceived wisdom being that his interest will lie probably as much in gaming going forward as movies and TV. Obviously, parks is a big thing for him because he's a parks guy. But gaming being a focus, do you think buying Epic Games and with it Fortnite would be a smart move for Disney? I mean, they tried Disney Infinity all those years ago and it never quite worked. Fortnite feels like it could be a better fit.
Yeah, it is. You've got already a pre-built fan base, so already there, you're not having to, like with Infinity's, kind of create a world and stuff. And the thing is, like Disney Infinity's, there was a lot of people who enjoyed it, and
the figures were fantastic. The figures were great.
Yeah, I've got all the figures up there. Actually, they're great, and that's probably the best thing about it, actually, at least from my opinion. And it was actually quite accessible for both genders and stuff like that. Now, what's interesting, because I was going to say, in a world whereby not everybody is going to the cinema, and actually not many people a younger age is going to the cinema as much as they used to, because their parents aren't going to the cinema. What a great way to almost introduce some of these legacy franchises, like Star Wars, into something that they're playing. The thing is that actually the largest demographic of Fortnite players is between the age of 18 and 24, 62%. I'll be honest, Karen's boys, they played it when they were younger. I think they drop on and that every now and again for a dabble. I just decided to one day just download it and just to see what it was all about. Yeah. Partly because Karen was like, I don't know anything about it, and I'm like, I'm sure it's fine, but I'll just download it. Within 10 minutes, I was just basically just owned and destroyed by a load of 14-year-olds who gave me all sorts of lip, most of which I cannot actually repeat over the airwaves. So I then swiftly just deleted it because I'm thinking, I'm not going to sink down to their level.
Why pay to be insulted when you can do a podcast every week for free?
Well, exactly. Yes. So that's obviously the demographics. There's still a high amount of players who are, I'd say, like that golden window for some of these franchises, kind of like 10 to 14, 15. That's kind of like the window that I think you really want to attract and stuff.
So you would say then, in terms of what Disney are doing, and not just Star Wars, but all Disney IP, that something like Fortnite, because I could be wrong, but I'm seeming to remember that at some point, either a TV episode or a movie trailer or something debuted on Fortnite where you could go into Fortnite and watch this, whatever it was. And so there's the capacity within Fortnite to do things like that, things that would hook in kids of that age.
Yeah, exactly. The estimated average kind of like play is between like 30 to 60 million people like a day.
Wow.
And I think actually there's like over 650 million like users have been registered. So that's a lot of people and a lot of eyes. And you think about like even going back to that whole thing with like Rise of Skywalker, they had the Star Wars takeover, and you had that message from the Emperor, which is random as hell. And it's like random as hell because it's like, well, this feels really clever in respect that you get them, the younger players. And actually, let's be fair, we are in an aging franchise. Me and you have been collectors and fans for many years, and the number of fans coming into it is probably fewer than they used to be. So we're kind of aging out of some of the stuff. So you've got to look all these different avenues to look at where you can maybe attract new people. Because I to be fair, as a member of the 501st and the RL, I've been at Troops. The number one place that loads of kids recognise some of these characters from is Fortnite. Number two, it's Lego. And it's either Lego sets or Lego games. Normally it's Lego games. So to focus on gaming is, I think, a good move. And I suppose it's going to be a question of how they do that. Because the problem is that the weighting between the number of male players on Fortnite versus the number of female is quite a disparity. So if they're trying to appeal to everybody, this might just be another kind of string to their bow, which will hit one target audience but may not necessarily reach the other.
Do you think then that with gaming and with things like this, like you just mentioned the eyes, 60 million, 30 to 60 million a day, it's insane numbers. Right now, it's an open thing. So a Warner Brothers IP could go in there, anything could go in there, presumably. But if Disney did buy it, and they're not saying they are, but the word is that they're keeping an eye on the situation. If they did buy it and it became purely Disney, just their stuff, and that was the realm that you could enter and play. Fortnite is Fortnite. You would still just be able to do Fortnite things within that and not have to necessarily encounter these other things, I'm assuming. But there's the opportunity to do that if you are in the game and you'll come across these things. But if you're able to put, let's say, an Ahsoka Season 2 trailer, let's say Disney buy it next month and they put an Ahsoka Season 2 trailer on in July and Ahsoka Season 2 lands in October, and you're throwing that Ahsoka Season 2 trailer in front of 60 million eyes for a week, then you've got to think that that's the massive value. But by the same token, isn't that a little bit like Disney adverts appearing on Disney Plus? They're already there. Do you know what I mean? So is there a flip side to it, or do you think it's win-win?
Well, I think it's probably close to win-win because I guess there's like not everybody who's playing Fortnite is going to have, say, Disney Plus.
True.
Because let's be fair, like a Disney Plus subscription is pretty pricey in the grand scheme of like streaming. It's up there. It's the mum nag factor, isn't it? Like, okay, they go and see the trailer for Mando and Grogu, for example, or Ahsoka season 2, as you say, and then like they total downstairs and go, I want to go see the cinema. I want to go see Mando and Grogu, and they go back upstairs, they play for another couple of games or something, and the trailer comes back on, and they total back down and what have you. So it's potentially an avenue for one that they can get more eyes that may not necessarily be like aware of what's going on or what they're watching, but two, also it's an extra revenue stream, isn't it? You think of all those subscribers, all the monthly plans and stuff, because like when you have like a Star Wars, I don't know what it's called, but let's call it Star Wars Takeover. Star Wars Takeover. Sure. There's normally like loads of cosmetic skin you can buy, so that will cost money, or like so their V-Bucks or whatever it is they're using on that. So therefore you get revenue that way. And then I guess what you do is you probably could. There's no reason I think you could say, okay, well, let's get Batman in. If DC want to approach us and do it, let's do it, but let's charge them double or something.
Yeah. And also I suppose if you're within the game, and Disney, let's say Disney owns it and it's their thing, and there's special offers on Disney Plus subscriptions all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You work for Sky, they've just paired up with Sky. There's a Disney thing going on with Sky. So let's say you're a Fortnite player, and they say for the next 7 days, instead of paying, I don't know what it is, I can't even think how much it is, 15 quid a month for Disney, you can get it for a tenner. That's going to straight away think, okay, exactly. That's saved me 60 quid. That's 60 quid I can spend on the game.
Yeah, exactly. Or even what Apple do. Whenever you buy an Apple device or anything, open up a bank account, you tend to get 3 months free.
Yes.
Just enough time for you to get in, start exploring, start maybe watching a few of those seasons and stuff. And then they hope that you're in and you want to continue. So, yeah. Also, some of these companies are getting so big, like Disney and Comcast, they can't really expand further really into their own industry before they start running up against like monopoly mergers. So they need to almost look at different avenues, because you want to expand, and then like again it's all about brand synergy. It's like, okay, well, we have a Disney show, we have characters on Fortnite, and we've got Star Wars characters in the park, and so you can hit a much broader demographic in different ways where it doesn't necessarily feel quite as targeted, but yet everybody's getting the same message.
So do you think then that in terms of synergy, which is very much a businessy kind of word, corporate word, but in terms of synergy, if Disney's got a gaming platform, it's got a streaming platform, it's got a park, it's always been big in the cinema. So do you think we're still not there yet on that element of synergy, because we all have a mobile phone now? And so that's another link between all these things. Do you think they're still reaching to find the magic synergy moment?
I think so. I'm pretty sure that, I guess whenever there's new technology and there's a new device or application or something like that they can, I'm sure that's the thing, is like, how can we get Disney content onto it, or how can we leverage that piece of technology to bring new subscribers or something to Disney? So I think that's just for the corporate world, isn't it? It's just like basically no CEO worth of salt is going to stay there and go, right, Bob Iger's like, right, I'm going to retire now because we're done. We've got everything.
Yeah.
People can now go to Disney Moon.
Yeah, I've completed the internet. Yay.
Exactly. I've completed business. And I'm pretty sure like in Black Mirror world, or like even one of those weird alternate universes they used to visit on sliders and stuff. That's a reference from
deep
the past.
cut.
It is. And they go there and literally there's only like everything is owned by like 4 corporations. We're getting there. But
we are. It is Blade Runner's coming, isn't it? Yeah.
It is coming. So therefore you kind of go, well, sure, there's bound to be avenues and stuff, But anyhow, I've got to nip off, get into my Disney car and then drive to my Disney supermarket. So we should probably...
I won't hold you up. You've got to buy some more Disney eggs.
Indeed. Okay, so that, as you may have guessed, is all we have got time for today. So if you'd like to send in a listener's question, Mark, who's smirking at me, can tell you how you can do it.
Why would I be smirking at you, Mark? I can tell you how. I don't know. I can tell you how you can do it, and this is how you can do it.
Email radio@fanthatracks.com. Head to links.fanthatracks.com for links to our social media feeds, Fantha Tracks TV and Fantha Tracks Radio. Thanks to James Semple for the Fantha Tracks intro, Blues Harvest for our Making Tracks opening music, and Mark Daniel and Vanessa Marshall for our voiceovers. New episodes drop Tuesdays and Fridays at 7 o'clock UK time. Our weekly news show, Good Morning Tatooine, goes live Sundays at 9 o'clock UK time on Facebook and YouTube. And remember, Fantha Tracks is absolutely free, so it costs nothing to stay updated on all the latest Star Wars news.
And that's me done for this episode, Mark.
Yeah, that's me done for this episode as well and truly. Right, so thank you very much, guys. I know. Yeah, so brilliant. Look, everybody stay safe, and may the Force be with you.
Coming up next on Fantha Tracks Radio, it's Collecting Tracks